The rain had just stopped when Amina sat by the window, watching her daughter Zainab scribble furiously in her notebook. The candlelight flickered across the girl's determined face. A tiny beacon of hope in their small home. Amina's heart swelled with a mix of pride and fear. Pride, because Zainab's spirit was so fiercely unbreakable. Fear, because the world outside wasn't always kind to girls who dared to dream. Amina's thoughts drifted to her own mother, Fatima, a woman who had never held a book, whose hands knew only the rhythm of the kitchen and the toil of the fields. Fatima's voice had been drowned out by the constant chorus of girls don't need education. Amina had fought harder, stealing moments to read borrowed textbooks, her mind hungry for knowledge, but her own dreams were clipped short when she was married off far too young. Now, watching Zainab, Amina felt the weight of 2 generations pressing down on her shoulders. She wanted her daughter to soar, to reach heights she and her mother never could. But every single day was a battle. The school fees were a constant, gnawing worry. Relatives would whisper that she was wasting precious money on a girl, that it was a pointless investment. Even neighbors would mock her when Zainab spoke up boldly in class, her voice clear and strong. One afternoon, that strength wavered. Zainab came home, her small frame shaking with sobs, tears streaming down her face. "Mama," she choked out, "they all laughed at me. They said girls can't be doctors." Amina pulled her daughter into a tight embrace, her own eyes burning with a familiar sting. She held Zainab close and whispered, her voice fierce and low, "Do you know why they laugh, my love? Because they are afraid. They are terrified of the powerful woman you are destined to become." That night, as the shadows danced on the walls, Amina told Zainab the story of her grandmother, Fatima. She spoke of the silenced dreams, of a life unwritten. She recounted her own struggles, the secret books, and the stolen moments of learning that were extinguished too soon. And then she spoke of the hope she now carried, a hope that lived and breathed in her daughter. Zainab listened, her eyes wide in the flickering light, absorbing every word. When the story ended, her voice was soft but firm. "Then I will carry all of you with me, Mama. I will not stop." From that day forward, something shifted. Zainab's essays in school became louder, braver. She wrote with a passion that was impossible to ignore. About the power of educating girls, about the sheer injustice of silencing half the world's voices. Her teachers began to notice the fire in her words. Her classmates, once quick to mock, began to listen. Slowly, ever so slowly, the whispers in their community began to change, turning from scorn to quiet respect. It wasn't easy for Amina. There were still nights she cried alone, overwhelmed by doubt, wondering if she was strong enough to carry this burden. But every time she saw the unwavering fire in Zainab's eyes, she knew she had given her daughter something more valuable than money or status. She had given her the courage to fight. Years passed. One day, Amina watched as Zainab stood tall and confident in a crisp white coat, a stethoscope draped around her neck. Dr. Zainab. In that moment, Amina thought of Fatima, her own mother. She could almost feel her presence, a gentle warmth, and imagine her smiling from somewhere beyond the stars, finally at peace, proud that the chain of silence had been broken forever. Zainab's victory wasn't just her own. It was a tribute to the silent sacrifices of the women who came before her. A promise fulfilled for generations. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content that celebrates the power of the human spirit.